Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Yes. Okay. Um. All right, guys. So today I'm going to be talking about overcoming the marketing challenges as overcoming your marketing challenges rather as a life coach. Who's joining me? Hello, hello. Um, So, overcoming your marketing challenges as a coach, please feel free to drop your questions or your comments into the chat. We can discuss them here live, or if you're watching the replay, then I will make sure I respond to your comments after. Okay, so all right, just making sure we got everybody here online. I know my sometimes my internet is a little crazy, so all right. There are a lot of marketing challenges that coaches face. So, especially if you brand yourself generically and you don't choose a niche, then I think you're going to find it particularly challenging in order to secure clients consistently. And so, I just want to kind of explain the way that I view the coaching industry because I think maybe this will break it down a little bit further. I feel like life coaching, as we know it, is the general industry that all coaches are a part of. So, like everybody who's coaching is coaching around something having to do with life in particular. So, like to me, life coaching would be the parent. If we're looking at tech, like parent child relationship or the mothership, so to speak, when we're looking at all of the other niches that might fall underneath of coaching. So, guys are going to realize back in the day, there was only life coaching. There was no other niches that we like know and love today. That was the profession. There weren't all of like the transformation mindset. We didn't have all of those. Then a lot of coaches got together. Probably some marketers too got together, and they wanted to differentiate themselves, and so they also had different skill sets where they excelled, and so that's when we started to see a lot of the niches pop up and people's expertise really shine through because they wanted to be known for what they were experts in and not necessarily just be um, branded as a life coach or just a coach, right? A professional coach. But the coaching industry, of course, has been around for quite a while. It's just um, we haven't seen so many people necessarily call out that they were a coach. Maybe they were calling themselves a mentor. So coaching in itself has really grown. And so that's why it's even more important to be able to differentiate yourself, especially like when all the big brand name coaches started to pop up and we start to have them like household names like Tony Robbins as one. It's like I do something different than Tony Robbins. So how are you going to describe yourself? You know what I mean? So, anywho, fast forward to today, all these niches pop up. The top 10 coaching niches that I am tracking right now in no particular order. So, this is not like a 1 to 10. This is just these are the top 10 transformation, health and wellness, business, relationship, mindset, spiritual, career, executive and leadership, family and parenting, and then financial. Those are the top 10. Hey. Um, so, Um, those are the top 10, and I'm currently aware of over 150 coaching niches at the moment that I'm tracking, and my niche keeps growing. It's probably a little bit of an obsession at this point that I'm like tracking all these coaching niches. However, I keep track of them and like I write down new ones that I find, like do a little bit of research because I want my clients to know what's possible, all the niches and the sub niches, and like where people are starting to expand. Um, it's just really important so that when you are coaching from your zone of genius, when you are describing what it is that you do, I want to make sure when I'm working with someone, we're accurately classifying what your services might be so that people who are looking for you can find you. So with that being said, let's talk about some marketing dilemmas you may face as a coach, and then I'm going to check the comments in just a second. So let's say you decide to become a coach. Let's say maybe you went the life coach direction first, and now you've gotten your certification, your training, and now you're looking for clients. So, where are the clients at? This is a common question. How do you get them? So, if you've completed a certification, most likely, right, your certification was very broad. So you now know that you can help people accomplish goals around feeling better about themselves, maybe goal setting, maybe around their personal life, their career, their business, their relationships, their health. These are all things that you would experience in a typical coaching certification. So many areas to cover. Who does this sound like as a target market? It's literally anyone. But anyone and everyone is not your ideal client. Everyone could benefit from a coach. That is true, but that doesn't mean that they are your ideal client. That's the first dilemma. Your ideal client is not specific enough. Anyone who has a challenge with life and any challenge, that is so broad, right? Think about it. I'm a life coach. Anybody who has a life challenge, I'm there. Like that could really be anybody because we all have life challenges at different parts of our life and at different like in different areas, right? You might have a financial challenge one part of our life, and then a couple of years later, maybe we have a relationship challenge. It's just different, right? Also, you're not an expert in all these areas. You're just not, right? So being able to have conversations around certain topics does not make you an expert, okay? You guys hear me say all the time, I'm not an expert in this. Or this is the only thing that I know about this. I say that. Why you want to know why I say that? Because I'm not an expert in it. Like literally, I'm like the first person to raise my hand and say, "Hey, this is the only thing that I know about this." Right? So, I'm not going to try and coach people around that particular subject when I know I'm not an expert in it. Now, I do study subject matter that will help my clients, and I'm always learning and looking for examples. So, if someone comes to me with a niche I've never heard of, or they want some coaching around something I'm not too familiar with, I will do a little bit of research, right? I can ask them the right questions to guide them in the right direction. That's important for me as their coach. But for me to help you market your coaching program, I don't have to know every nook and cranny and detail about your program. It's helpful because I can, ask you more complex questions, but I don't have to know that in order to help you market your offers. But I will also say, just because I know a lot about a subject, I'm not going to claim to be an expert in that subject, right? If I don't have experience around like applying my knowledge, I automatically consider myself not an expert in it. So that's the first thing, which actually leads to the second dilemma. Really, is you're calling yourself an expert in things that you're not really an expert in, right? And so that in itself is false marketing. Having difficult conversations with people around topics does not make you an expert in it. Okay, it just means you're good at having difficult conversations. That's all that it means. So this would then lead to the third dilemma of your marketing is non-specific. It doesn't call out a particular group of people, and so it goes over people's heads. So my first piece of advice as a coach is always to niche down, because it clarifies everything for you. People will fight me on this, but when they see the results, they understand why. If you resist the niche down process, then you've got to get really specific on the transformation you provide. Making your life better, earning more money is not a compelling transformation. It's too broad. It's too broad. What does that mean? Because it's relative to different people. Like making your life better for one person could literally just mean that they're able to get out of bed in the morning, where making your life better for another person could mean that they're earning more money. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's what they in their head, that's to make your life better. And then make more money could be $1, could be more to someone, and then $1,000 is more to someone, and then over what time period? You know what I'm saying? It's just too broad. So um, you just have to get really specific on what it is that you're going to be helping your ideal clients achieve when it comes to their personal life, their career, their business, their health, their relationships. When you start to do this, I think the more sense it makes to niche down, because like when you try to like put together your services like on a website or a landing page or a sales page, and you're trying to go after all these different categories, it'll probably read something like, I'm a coach to help people change their mindset breakthroughs, get rid of self-limiting beliefs, achieve their goals, set them, find their dream career, and also change careers, and also um, build a business if they don't have one. But if they have a business, they can earn six figures. And then I can also help them lose weight and eat healthier. And then I can also help them to find their ideal partner and maybe date or maybe not, or maybe I do, or I'm a matchmaker. Like there's like, so if you have any of these problems, book a discovery call. That's what your sales page will end up looking like if you don't have a niche. And it's like, wow, is that all you do? Like it's just so much stuff. um so my other question would be, can you actually do these things, or are you just passing along information to people? That's the other piece of it. Like, don't claim you can do something when you're just providing information to people. To me, giving information is not coaching. Guiding them through the steps for the transformation is. So you let people make choices on their own, but you providing the guidance is crucial in the coaching role, right? So people can make their own decisions. They can choose to, you can give them the information, you can give them like specifics, like this is what you're supposed to do and this is what I think, but ultimately it's up to you. You can show them the door, but they have to walk through essentially. Um, what is that transformation? So like it's like a difference in me giving you resume writing tips versus me being able to look over a resume, give relevant feedback, prep you for an interview, and then know that you're going to get the job with my guidance. Like that's a career coach example, right? So like if you're a career coach and you have a coaching program and you're like, I'm going to help you land your next job, 20K with the whatever percent raise or whatever it is. You just giving them general career tips, is that really going to help them land the job? Or are you going to actually use expertise that you have in that field specifically to help them get the job, right? So like that's the difference in having information versus actually like leading someone through a transformation. So I would tell my coaches, if you are calling yourself just a coach, or you don't really like, you're not really picking a niche, or you trying to coach in several, you need to specialize in something. It's your area of expertise. Don't fall into the trap of the everybody coach. Your offers won't be streamlined. Your clients will be confused. Your content will be confusing. Confused buyers don't buy. And they will always be trying to get you to change your offerings because you're attracting people that aren't really a good fit. Okay. So let me pause really quickly and just check for questions and comments before I keep going. Oh, hey, Tashonda. Hey, I don't know who Facebook user is, but hey, thanks for joining. Hey, y'all. I don't know who the anonymous person is, but thanks so much for joining. Let me see. Let me know if you guys have questions on Facebook. Let me check Instagram real quick, guys. Let me check. It says hello. It's Jason. Hello. How to get people to read more? What's on my social media and what's on my Clubhouse bio? How do you? Okay, so it's a question. How do you get them to read it? So social media. Okay. What do you want them to read? Your captions on social media? Jason? For your Clubhouse bio, I definitely recommend the top 3 lines of your Clubhouse bio need to be eye catching and on point. Like what you do, front and center, like who you are, what you do, like right at the top. And then like the first like 2-3 lines should be how you serve people. Everything else underneath, I mean, it's bonus. People will keep reading, but it needs to catch people's attention immediately for them to be able to keep reading. That's Clubhouse. Social media, writing compelling captions is all about knowing your ideal client, your target audience. So whatever make sure your captions are relevant to what you're posting. That's the first thing. So like if you posted something on the feed, whether it's a video or a reel or whatever platform, and your caption is not related to caption meaning the feed part, the thing underneath the post, if not related to what you posted, people are gonna be confused and they're not gonna keep reading. So that's like, the main one of the main things. The second, to be able to write compelling captions, you have to know the language of your target audience. So you have to write things in a way that's going to capture their attention, and that will help them be able to better tune into you. But ultimately, if you don't have a content strategy or content pillars, then what you're posting may misalign with what your products are, and also what your target audience needs and wants to see. So it's a little bit of a loaded question, but ultimately, I think maybe the short answer would be is to make sure that you have everything aligned with your content pillars and what your ideal client, or what your ideal client wants and needs to hear from you. That'll make them read more, read your captions, make sure they look at your social media posts. Um, any other questions? Oh, it's Georgette. Hey, Georgette. Okay. um, any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Hopefully that, okay. You said I have that. I think all I can do is strip now, and I won't do that. So that's okay. I will just be patient. I don't know what that means, Jason. They don't read my bio on Clubhouse. Yeah, I mean, if it's too long, so like, the thing about Clubhouse is if it's too long, people aren't going to read the whole thing. So you need to just make sure you have like what's closer to the top is what you really want people to know. Everything else is bonus, right? So like, of course they're not going to read everything. Most people are not going to read everything, but what you have at the top, like that's really what needs to be front and center. And then you said, okay, I think all I can do is I don't know what that means. I will just be patient. Okay. Be patient. Got it. All right, cool. Any other questions? Okay. So let's move to the next part about actually getting coaching clients consistently. Like I've talked a lot about needing to choose a niche and niching down. By the way, if you don't know what your niche is, or you're still trying to find your niche, I would encourage you to take my Find Your Coaching Niche quiz. That's free. It takes about 3 minutes to complete, and it will give you some guidance on where you might fall within the top 10 coaching niches. Also, if you get your results, it does give you some guidance on maybe some sub niches that might be applicable to you. And that's in the link in my Instagram bio. If you click the link, or if you're watching me on Facebook, you can click the link in the description of this live, and there's a link for the quiz in there as well. Okay, so getting coaching clients consistently comes down to a few elements, and I'll just go over them real quick. The first is you have to accept that you're going to have to put in work and invest in yourself to grow your business. The second, accept that everybody is not your ideal client. The third, find your coaching niche. The fourth, find your target market. The fifth, create your coaching offer. The sixth, clarify your messaging. And the seventh, be consistent in marketing in the right places. Those are the 7 steps. So I'll just kind of go through each one really quickly. I think, coaching and being an entrepreneur are 2 different things. So people get the coaching certification because they want to work with people. They want to help. They want to provide the transformation. They don't necessarily realize that there's a whole entrepreneurship part to it that they have to do. Like coaching and being an entrepreneur aren't the same thing, right? The act of coaching is different. The actual service part of things than running a business. So that's the first thing you have to realize. And you're going to have to be able to do both in order to build your business, right? So that means doing some of the things that we don't want to do. That means learning how to do some of the things that we don't know how to do. That means investing in ourselves and in our business to learn how to do those things properly rather than DIY our business. And, when you have put yourself in the mindset that you don't have enough time, enough money, you're scared, which we're all scared, I think, as entrepreneurs, but you're not ready to take that leap, both feet in, your business is never going to go to where you really want it to go. I'll just be honest with you, right? You subconsciously are sabotaging yourself, um, because you're like, oh, even though you're saying my business is important to me, even though you're saying I want to get this done, you're subconsciously saying that my business is not worth my time and my effort when you're not willing to learn how to do things properly and or make the investment in order to be able to do that. Um, and sometimes building your business means you got to rebuild your foundation. Like I can't tell you how many times I've like released something and it hasn't gone the way that I thought it was going to. You got to be willing to do that as many times as it takes in order for you to get things right. And I think people think that they're going to create something that's going to be perfect the first time, and that's it and that's all. Building a business is an iterative process. There's no one and done, and you have to evolve in order to stay in business, right? So I just want to put that out there as the first thing. But ultimately, collecting and hoarding information and not taking action is not going to get you where you need to go. Okay. Most people don't have an information problem, they have an implementation problem, meaning they fail to implement the information that they have learned, and or they're collecting information for the wrong uh, they're in it's in the they're in the wrong part of their business or wrong season of their business. You don't need scale information. You don't need information to scale your business if you're not getting consistent sales. That makes no sense, right? We're not talking about growth. We're not talking about like a growth and scale type situation if you're not making consistent income that's predictable month over month, year over year. It doesn't make sense, right? So you have to make sure that you are collecting information that's going to be for the right stage of your business, right? So if you're not making consistent sales, you want to work on your marketing and your sales and like getting your actual products together. Um, so yeah, that's number one. Number two, accept that everyone isn't your ideal client. This I think is really hard, especially for folks in the coaching space, because we're like most of us are very heart centered. We want to help everybody, and it's like, no, I can help everybody, and it may seem like a good idea, but it's not. And the sooner that you accept it, the sooner you'll be able to focus your energy on the people that really are in most need of what you have to offer. That is also the reason why I'm very passionate about helping my coaches create a product suite, a suite of products, right? Everybody is not going to be able to afford you really at any level that you sell at. So I think we have to like keep that mindset. Like you could say it's $1,000, you could say it's $100. Somebody will still think it's too expensive, right? So you have to just go with who you're actually meant to help, who you're meant to serve, right? That's what we have to identify. Um, the third thing is finding your coaching niche. So, again, all starts with your zone of genius. What are you good at? What are you passionate about? What does the world need? And what can be monetized? It has to have those four things, okay? What are you good at? You have to also be passionate about it. Um, your target audience, which is they have to want and need it, and then it also needs to be able to be monetized. Those four elements. If you build a business around something that you're really good at, you will burn out, and you're not passionate about it. That's really what causes burnout a lot of the times because you're good at this task, and because we're good at it, we think we need to do a business around it. That's not always the case. If you're not passionate about it, then it's gonna lead to fatigue and you're going to burn out. So you have to at least be really good at it, like excel at it, be passionate about it. People need to want and need it, whatever that thing is, and it need to be able to be monetized. So you got to make sure it has all those elements. Um, the fourth thing is you're finding your target market. So these are the people who you can best serve or best help with your offer. Like I said, it's not everyone, and the more specific you can get, the better that you're going to be off, right? Um, or better off you'll be. The fifth is creating your coaching offer. What are the outcomes of working with you? If you answer this question, you will have an easier time attracting your ideal client. Be very specific. When I talk about program outcomes, I know you guys are probably sick of hearing me talk about program outcomes all the time, but I'm telling you, this is what you need. You need some outcomes for your coaching program. What are people going to get when they work with you? That's really important. The sixth is clarifying your messaging. So state your outcomes in a way your ideal client can understand. That's really important. If you're using industry jargon and terminology, it may be what they want and need, but they don't understand because you're using terms that they don't associate with that particular product or service. The seventh is be consistent in marketing in the right places. So be strategic in your marketing platforms. You don't need to be on all of them. I'll say that one more time. Be strategic in your marketing platforms. You do not need to be on all of them. That's like a very, very important lesson. Let's see who else joined. Hello, hello. Okay. So, guys, um, let me recap real quick for those who just joined the conversation. We've been talking about overcoming marketing challenges as a coach. And I've given some reasons as to why you need to niche down in some ways that you can actually make consistent sales. So I talked about the top 10 coaching niches and well, this in no particular order, but I track these niches because I want to make sure that my clients are able to market themselves properly to their ideal clients. And if you're calling yourself something that your ideal client is not searching for, you make it that much more difficult for you to be found as a coach, right? You could be the best person to solve their problem, but if they can't find you, what difference does it make, right? So, again, the top 10 coaching niches in no particular order: transformation, health and wellness, business, relationship, mindset, spiritual, career, executive leadership, family, parenting, and financial. As I said, I track over 150 niches right now, just so that my clients can stay as competitive as possible when it comes to marketing themselves as a coach. Um, so, talking about the some of the dilemmas that you may face when you market yourself too generically, the first is that your ideal client is not specific enough, meaning you're kind of saying anybody who has a challenge with life would be a good fit for my coaching program, and that's not true because you're not even an expert in all the areas in which you may be trying to coach. And again, zone of genius is key, right? So, if you really can't help someone in their career, don't that should not be like in your product suite. Like you shouldn't be saying that you can do that. You might be able to have a conversation around it, like you can talk to them about it, but ultimately, if you're not going to help them achieve a transformation with it, it shouldn't be a part of your coaching program. Okay. Um, and then the second dilemma is calling yourself an expert in things that you aren't really an expert in. So this is the same, like along the same lines of saying you're an expert in all these things when really you don't know a lot about it. You're just able to talk about it, which is not going to be helpful for your coaching client when they're looking at you to be able to solve their problem or help them solve their problem, I should say. The third is your marketing is then becomes very non-specific when you do that because it doesn't call out one particular group, and so it goes over people's heads. So like you're like, well, when I say who is this offer for, that's what I mean. Everyone should not be your answer when that's said, right? So those are the top marketing dilemmas that coaches would face. Um, and then we talked about the ways to be able to get clients consistently, which would be to accept that you're going to have to put in work and invest in yourself to grow your business. Everyone's not your ideal client. You have to find your coaching niche, find your target market, create your coaching offer, clarify your messaging, and then be consistent in marketing in the right places. So, I'm gonna check the comments in just a second. Let's do that. But if you guys are ready to get your business off the ground, launch your signature program, your high ticket coaching program, as well as the other offers in your product suite, attract your ideal client and create consistent income for you, which would then replace your freelance, your 9 to 5, or your 1-to-1 business. Definitely apply to the Brand Builder Blueprint program. So that is the link in my Instagram bio. Click the link, complete the application. If you're watching me on Facebook, then the link is in the description of the live. So let me look at the comments now. Oh, Tashonda says, I think I'm going to take it to see if anything changes for my niche. Okay, yeah, good. Definitely, Tashonda, take the quiz, and see if you land where you think you land. Because I think that would be interesting to see if like it doesn't match up and where it puts you. So awesome. Thanks so much. Let me look at Instagram. What's going on Instagram? Let me see. You said on IG I was joking. Oh, okay. Okay, I did not get that. Yes, in ministry, I want to get everyone saved since I was 9. You got burnout serving too much for free. That's true. You cannot serve everyone. Hi there. You said how to share your professional experience with your clients. Okay, I think is that the question? How to share your professional experience with your clients? So, can you give me more information about that? What what do you mean? Do you mean like what your qualifications are, or what exactly? I want to make sure that I'm answering the question in a way that makes sense. Because you said, how do you share your professional experience with your clients? Because I mean, that could just definitely be like a testimonial type of a thing, but I don't know if that's really the question that you are asking. I just want to make sure that I'm answering it right. Oh, as okay, as a career coach, I would like to share my wins, my awards. Oh, okay. So, that could definitely be through testimonials, right? You could definitely have can you share the awards you have, and maybe because I'm familiar with a few of them. Share the awards you have, but like testimonials, if you have any from your clients, you can of course have a banner on your website, or on your landing pages, or when you have your offer, so people know like what you've done. Um, Social media, create a highlight on IG. That's a good one to do. Um, and then I would quantify that honestly. For me, I would want to see like if you have helped over 100 people land a job within X number of days, or you've helped people negotiate $100,000 in raises, or I always like to quantify things. If that's something that you've done, if you got those receipts, we need to quantify that. But what are the awards for? My success to be relatable to others. Okay. Okay. I mean, if you can quantify it for people, I think that's even more tangible. It makes it more tangible. Because, like, for example, if I was looking for a career coach, I would definitely want someone that is going to be able to help me get to the next step in my career. I don't know what you specialize in because career is kind of broad. So, um, if you do entry level to management, or if you do like management to senior leader to C suite, I definitely would quantify those things because I know, like, especially for executives, they want to see like your track record. My awards are related to my marketing career. Awards are related to your marketing career. Okay, so are you helping people in the marketing field get jobs? Is that your specialty? Because as a career coach, you can specialize by industry. That's also very attractive for people. Like, for example, when I was still in the government sector, I was specifically looking for a government headhunter. So, someone to get me a government job. I didn't care about, I wasn't looking at the private sector. I wanted my GS 14 in the government. So, therefore, I wanted someone who had experience with helping me to tailor my resume and my cover letter and everything I needed to be able to, at the time they were doing KSAs. I think they've done away with that now. It's definitely been a few years since I've been trying to do that, but I wanted someone who had that experience so that when I was going to apply for these particular positions, because if you never apply for a government position in the US, man, I'm trying to tell you, you got to do a different resume for each job. It's crazy. But I wanted someone who specialized in that, just because of the whole process. I focus on Latinas and women of color professionals. I am bilingual. Okay. So yeah, I mean, that's your target audience. But what I meant to say was, like, in terms of, you said your awards were around your marketing career, so you can definitely share that with people. If you're I was asking if you're focusing specifically on helping people get jobs in the marketing sector. So like whatever, marketing is very broad, so it could be anything in marketing, but like different marketing companies. If you have a track record there, then I think that would be good to share. But either way, I mean, definitely always share your wins with your clients however you can. Just try to but make it relatable to the thing that your offer is about, right? Because like, so for example, I talk about this a lot. I have a whole bunch of certifications and awards in project management for my job. It's not really related to, I mean, it's like, it is, but it's not related to my coaching offer. Meaning like, I'm not going over project management in the brand builder blueprint. That's something for my mastermind clients. So like, I'm not going to have that on my like marketing materials for that because that's not a part of my program. Does that make sense? So yeah, hopefully let me know if that makes sense. The female go-getter. Awesome. I love that name. Um, but just let me know if that makes sense um, for what I'm saying, because like you want to make sure like once you start to get receipts in your coaching field, whatever that might be for, then you definitely want to share that all the time, often with your ideal clients. Like I just have like breaking news, y'all. I actually well, it's related to my other business, but I actually got quoted in InStyle magazine, so I'm gonna share that with y'all soon. But um, it's related to my other business, but I'm gonna share it anyway because I was like, ooh, yay, win. So some things are meant to just be shared with your community, and then some things you would use specifically for marketing. If that makes sense. Like I share wins with you guys all the time. Like I did have a win around getting featured in the New York Times, so I shared that with y'all, and that was in one of my posts. But like this is related to my other business, so I'm gonna just share it with y'all. Like, hey, yay! I got a feature. Thank you, Tashonda. So I'll send that to y'all. I got quoted. That was cool. That was really cool. Um, Thank you. You said this was great. What if you are doing transformation for church leaders and you need to market church online when offline church is an option? So, are doing transformation for churches leaders and you need to market church online when offline church is an option. Okay, so offline church is an option, but I would argue that online church is now necessary in the new normal. So at any time, we could be told we got to stay home. And, COVID is not over, y'all. I mean, I know we acting like it, but, I would argue, I mean, because online ministry is not new, y'all, right? Because Joel Osteen, I watch Joel Osteen sometimes. Online church is not new. There are a lot of people who have been streaming their services online for a long time, right? They call them televangelists, I think. But I would argue now more than ever that online church is necessary. Like you need to have your services. You need to have a setup by where you can stream online at any time in case anything happens. So that's the way that I personally would market that. Like it's necessary. And I know that a lot of our church elders don't like technology, and so they have the younger folk help them set it up. I understand. But I think we can make the argument now that that the setup needs to be there, and also they have the opportunity, right? The opportunity to minister to a wider audience, right? They're serving their community, of course, right? Because you know, churches are, based and help build up our communities, but with the online, they have an opportunity to minister to um, the world essentially. And a lot of churches, like my church, we had sister churches like in North Carolina and just all over that we would do things with and like travel back and forth, especially if like I know one of our pastors like came from Texas at my old church, and so we would do a lot of stuff with the church in Texas, and they would come to Maryland and we would go to Texas and then one in North Carolina, and also other parts of Maryland too. So it's easier to make those connections also, and do joint ministry things. So I think we can make the argument now that that would be needed. It's just, again, that's why you're the coach for the church leaders, right? To coach them through uh, the change in mindset to be able to minister to a larger audience. So, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully that's helpful. Yes, but everyone from my church goes in person now. They are super slow. Yep, they are super slow to accept change. I can't argue with that. I can't argue. I am not a church elder, so I can't I can't tell you the the thought process. I just know that, you know, you're gonna just have to work with them in ministry, and you know, it's gonna take a few conversations, and maybe even implementing it in another part of the church. Obviously, the youth are gonna be more open to. I mean, that's their whole generation, right? Their whole generation is iPhone, iPad, YouTube, TV, whatever, whatever they be watching these days. TikTok. Oh my gosh, no TikTok in church, y'all. No TikTok in church. Um, so they're going to be more open to it. Maybe work with the youth. I would recommend working with another ministry to kind of test it out, right? Beta test it if you're going to be working with church leaders, and have them see the success of it. And then I think they'd be more open to implementing it somewhere else. That's a lot of what I would do did a lot of that in my former life in the corporate world, where if we wanted to do something, we would do like a trial with a particular program. We would set up a smaller version of it, get some success metrics, and then pitch the larger version or show that this could be successful. And then I would like put the plan together on how to implement the entire thing. Or they would want the full plan, but they want to scale up over time. So I think the same thing can work in something like that in ministry as well. Okay. Hello. Let me see what else we got. You said you moved on from them. Okay, I'm waiting for the next one. I have given them enough time. Oh well, hopefully we won't have that happen, but you never know. So, um, hopefully we won't do have another lockdown. But hopefully that was helpful. All right, guys. I just wanted to see if there's any other questions. Anything else at all? Anything. If you guys are interested in learning more about the Brand Builder Blueprint and how you can build your coaching business to get clients consistently, don't forget to click the link in my bio if you're watching me on Instagram or on Facebook, then or YouTube. You can click the link in the description of the live. So I think that's it. Hopefully you guys have found what I have shared today to be helpful. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm on Facebook at iSimplyShe, or on Instagram at I_simply_she. That's it. So take care, guys, and have a great rest of your day.